Okay, guys. Hello, it is International Master John Bartholomew, and it is a new year. It is 2018. This is my first video or stream of 2018. I'm hoping I'm live here because I haven't done one of these in a while. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I don't have the chat on screen right now, just because on chess.com it can get a bit cluttered if you include the YouTube chat. But Happy New Year to everyone. I see many fire emojis and many familiar faces in the chat. How's it going, Luke and Anthony? Quez. Quez is bringing the fire emojis very strong right now. Randoms Gaming. Gwen. Eric. Daniel. Jerome. Jerome says he's missing those streams. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. We're going to have a good time on this stream. So this is the Chess960 Championship. It is the first time that chess.com has run one of these, and I'm excited because I haven't played much Chess960, but when I have played it, I've had a lot of fun, and I think it's a challenging variant, and many people consider it kind of the next step, the natural evolution of chess, when you get outside of opening theory, and you really just take two players and pit their chess wits against themselves, against each other. So I'm going to explain what Chess960 is in a second, because many of you have perhaps never played it or even looked into it before. This tournament, by the way, it's starting in less than 10 minutes, so we don't have a whole lot of time. But Chess960, I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia page because I was looking at it right before the stream, mainly to remind myself what the rules are. There's not so many rules that you have to know that are different than normal chess, but let's just hit a couple points. So also known as Fischer Random Chess because Bobby Fischer was the big advocate of it. And it seems like he got bored of regular chess at some point and just decided that opening theory was going to result in traditional chess as we know it just being played out, and that Chess960 was the way to go. So in Chess960, the pawns start on the same ranks, so the 2nd and the 7th ranks, but the pieces in the back are randomized. And they're not completely randomized, but the amount of positions that can result are 960 possible positions. And the requirements for how you randomize the pieces on the back rows are right here. So the bishops must be placed on opposite color squares. That's important. So you're not going to have a position with 2 light square bishops or 2 dark square bishops. And also the king must be placed on a square between the rooks. And that's in order to enable castling. Okay, so those are the 2 big requirements when it comes to Chess960. So it's not purely random on the front and the back ranks. Otherwise, the rules of chess are normal. So you can castle in the same way, which I'll be demonstrating during this stream for sure if I want to have any chance of fighting for a decent place, because castling is still important in 960. En passant, promotion, everything else is the same. And if you want to go on and read, I'm not going to show you guys the entirety of this article on Chess960, but it's quite a good article on Wikipedia that they have going through the history of Chess960, mainly talking about how it's still relatively new and discussing some of the competitions that have happened. So that's Chess960 in a nutshell. Now, this tournament on chess.com, so it's 9 rounds. It's open only to titled players. We've got 76 players in right now. The time control is 4+2, 4 minutes with a 2-second increment. And the top prize, I wish I would have brought this up, but the top prize is an entry fee plus I think a few nights of hotel in Reykjavik, Iceland for a Chess960 tournament that they're having during the Reykjavik Open, which I'm thinking of playing anyways because the Reykjavik Open is a fantastic traditional chess event. But that's the main prize for this particular tournament. And as you can see, there's quite a few good players are in this already. I saw MVL lurking somewhere. Yeah, Lion Beast. 2 Vladimirovich, that's Dmitry Andreikin, Georg Myers in. There's a lot of GMs gunning for this prize. We see some streamers, Blitzstream. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like the Ginger GM was playing, Simon Williams. Robert Hess, I see. So this will be a lot of fun, and I think just good chess practice in general. You guys know that I'm pursuing my Grandmaster title right now. I'm studying a lot of chess on my own. And even though this doesn't help as far as openings and testing yourself against good players in the opening phase of the game, it is still chess. And from my experience with Chess960, between 2 good players, the position tends to, at some point, look like a normal chess game. even though at the beginning of the game, the position's rather random looking. All right, how's everyone doing in the chat? Good to see you, Arslan and Tony Rotella. Yeah, does someone want to play a game like really quick? Because this tournament starts in 6 minutes, but it might be good to play a game and just warm up for a second. I got to make sure I have my challenges on for one thing. Joel says he doesn't think Ginger is in. Yeah, I didn't see him in there. Hello, Michael. There are calls to beat MVL. I'll certainly try. Hey, Polar Cow. Radwan. I'm doing great, Mehmet. Good to see you there. Yeah, this is live. This is live, guys. I know I haven't done a stream in ages, but it's approaching noon U.S. Central Time, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, someone challenge me in Chess960 if you can. Probably it has to be a very fast game, like 1 or 2 minutes. Let's do this one. Okay. And yeah. Wait, this is normal chess. Yeah, this is normal chess. I'm going to abort this game. There we go. 960. There we go. Okay. Gamer Boy, let's do this. So this is a 960 game, not part of the tournament, just a warm-up game. Gamer Boy, if you are there, all right. Now, you got to watch out for like loose pawns and stuff in this variant. I'm going to take aim against this G2 pawn and just develop. That's the hardest thing coming from a normal chess background, is just adjusting to the starting position, obviously, because you have no experience in the position that you're getting, most likely. Oh, I could have taken this. Ooh, and he didn't. Oh, man, I meant to put that bishop on e4. Whoops. Historically, I've always done bad in these initial games right before the stream, so I think it's important just to get it out of the way. Get any losses that are going to occur or any flags, get them out of the way. Let's take that. I think I'm going to go for c5. Ooh, actually jump into f4 if he allows that. Okay, so he just castled right there. You see how his king and his rook end up on the normal positions? So that's what happens in 960. Even though it looks weird, you can still castle like that. Pick up this bishop. Now I've got bishop takes d4 coming in. Take that guy. And if his king goes to h1, if his king goes to h1, I was going to play king g7 and then try for rook h8. So, yeah, he ended up castling right there by just putting his rook on top of his king. That's how you do it in the interface. And likewise, I could have castled on the king side too by doing that. My rook would end up on f8. If I wanted to castle queenside, then this knight would have to be gone. Every other square is free in between here. So this knight would have to be gone. And I would again put the... Right, is it king on top of rook? I think it's king on top of rook. And my king would end up on c8 and the rook on d8 as normal. Vex asks, hey John, will this be archived? Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing about streaming on YouTube. It archives immediately afterwards. So if you have to go or something, it will be up immediately. Okay, this thing starts in 2 minutes, so I'm just going to sit out for now, but that's Chess960. How's it going, Bilal? The Jesse asks, what are my 2018 resolutions? You know, I'm not really one to set resolutions, but clearly I'm pushing right now for Grandmaster. That's been on my mind for months, and I'd like to continue doing that. I will continue doing that in 2018. I'm planning out my tournaments right now. I do have one tournament coming up starting next week in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a Grandmaster Invitational. The time limit is 4+2, 4 minutes with a 2-second increment. Sarav asks, is it freezing cold there, John? Yes, it is very cold here in Minnesota. It's been around 0 degrees most days, or often dipping lower. Like on New Year's Eve, it was like -13 or something. Okay, I'm just double checking that I'm in. Looks like I am. Thanks, James. And thanks, Peter. Good to see you, Peter. What was that noise? I don't know what that noise was. Is that tournament starting? Did I get a haircut? No. Not recently, at least. Not in the past couple weeks. I know my hair looks extra spiky today. Mr. Flublet. Good to see you, Mr. Flublet. My brother in arms. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Christopher. Any thoughts on Carlsen Nakamura? So the Speed Chess Championship that was yesterday. What can you say? I mean, Carlsen is, spoiler alert if you haven't watched that yet. Maybe mute my stream right now, but Carlsen is just an animal, of course, and he's the only one who can just beat down Hikaru like that, especially in the bullet phase. He just annihilated him in the bullet portion of the match. He won every time control, but in the bullet it was something like 6.5, 1.5, and there's no one else who can do that. So Magnus really showed his dominance. Okay, I'm playing Robert Hess, RLH2. Great guy, Robert Hess. I saw him, did I see him last summer? I'm not sure. But okay, he starts with b3, so taking aim at my g7 pawn. I'm just scanning for undefended pawns. There isn't really any. I'm going to go here because I like opening that bishop as well. I'm just going to copy him for now. Yeah, and I like this push too. Maybe get this bishop to c7. So probably I'm going to be castling on the king side. The queen in the corner is a bit of a concern. Let's bring this out. I don't want to block my bishop yet, but I do want to deny his knight b5. So I'm trying to play my best in this tournament, but I also want to have a bit of fun. It's not conventional chess. I haven't played a lot of 960. There's a lot of good players in this event, so it's a good chance to test myself. h4. Okay. I'm going to try to develop this bishop to f6. I was even thinking about playing g6 there because this knight would be pinned, but I wasn't certain whether putting my queen on the same diagonal as that dark square bishop was a smart idea. Did Hess go to Harvard? No, I think he went to Yale. e3. Okay. Again, bishop f6 I'm looking at. What about f5 too? f5 definitely makes some sense. Let's go f5. Try to gain a little space. Then I'm thinking if I castle on the king side, which I could do right now, by the way, then my rook would be lined up with white's king. Although admittedly, white could castle king side too. d4, so he's going to break in the center. All right. Let's develop. Yeah, probably just recapture if he takes. Thanks, Sachin. Benjamin says, thanks for the guest commentary during Aman's latest Norm tournament. Yeah, no problem. I was on the Chessbra stream briefly. Just trying to give Aman some support. Okay, queen h2, that's sneaky. So that's maybe one of his intentions with h4. Okay, so this knight is hit. Knight e4 is my instinct, but I kind of have to watch the queen coming in. Yeah, that queen could sneak into the position if I'm not careful. Don't want to play king e7, I don't think. That just looks wrong. Yeah, could move the knight, but queen to c7 is pretty awkward. I think I'm going to go back. I don't like that decision, but I miss queen h2. Try to speed up here a bit. Knight d3, okay. Develop, defend this guy. This is undefended, however. Okay, let's stick that in. So knight d2 check is now a threat. Wouldn't be surprised if he castled now. Castled short. Maybe I can plan bishop d6. I'm just thinking he might jump into e5 with this knight and hit my pawn on d7. But I'm looking at bishop d6 as a potential option to hit this queen. Thanks, Josh. And he takes. Wow, okay. Let's take. Oh, man. Gotta go here. Did not see queen f4. So is he lagging? Yeah, he was lagging for a second, but we're back now. So now, unfortunately, I'm going to lose a pawn. At the very least, I think. I'll just play this capture. But he can take on f6 and then take on e4. My king might get to safety, but position's not so good. Is he having connection issues or what? Okay, he's just thinking, I guess. Takes on e4 first. Now I think I should castle. Yeah, let's do that. So rook lined up with his queen and also his king. I think that's why maybe he should have taken on f6 first. So now if he takes, I take with the rook, possibly some pressure. Still very good for him. Actually, does he have problems there? We'll find out. Queen e5, maybe d6. Deflect the queen. Yeah, so he goes there instead, but what about h5 now? h5, and how does he defend that bishop? Let's do it. Some coordination issues for Robert. Queen kicked away. My bishop is ready to come into e4. I think I'm winning the material back, and he's got time issues too. He's only got 30 seconds left. That castle was cheating, says David. Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Take that. So I got to get my queen out. h5 being under attack is a concern. e5 maybe? I'm just going to do this. This looks decent, I think. Open the position. There's a lot of lag or something going on here. Because his time is ticking down, but I don't really see it. Okay. Let's protect. I want to get this knight involved. I'm going to bring this in. Yeah, he castles. Okay, let's just defend this. Hit this, also enable rook d8. It is only 4+2, so it's bear that in mind. Bring this back. Hide this. Take. Just trying to play a little faster here. He's looking for tricks. Trying to bully him with possible trades. Rook c4 I missed. But I have queen g3, I guess. Now maybe bishop takes f3 at some stage. Like right now. Yeah, this is just strong, I think. Yeah, and he resigned. If he takes, then I can take on h3 with check, or I can also play queen takes f3 and go pick up the rook. And that's too much material. Okay, so we take the first game against a grandmaster, always nice. I think in that one, by the way, I'm just checking the layout of the board. I'm always paranoid that something's going to go wrong with the layout, but it looks like you guys can see everything nicely. I think in that one, he underestimated or maybe just straight up missed that I could castle here. Because to me, it looks much better to play bishop takes f6 first. And then after pawn takes, if I castle in the future, my rook won't be on an open file. Or half-open file. Because in the game, all of a sudden, he had coordination issues with these pieces right here. I'm threatening the discovery. His queen needs to stay guarding the light square bishop. He did this first, but after this, the queen is going to be pushed away from the defense of the bishop. If queen e5, there's d6. Queen takes d6, bishop takes e4. He can take my knight on a6, but I take his knight with check. So it looks to me like he loses a piece. And if he plays queen g4 as he did in the game, then h5. And yeah, again, the queen is getting pushed. Someone says that rating boost. Oh, yeah. So I went up to 25-25, Chess960. Nice. All right. So a good way to start the tournament. Again, a 9-round tournament. So this stream will be going for a while. Jeffrey Zhang is playing. Lots of guys who normally play Titled Tuesdays, you see on chess.com, are in the field. Let's see what other games are going. Let's take a look at Georg Meyer's game. Oh, I don't like this evaluation thing. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Okay. So Georg Meyer is in an opposite color bishop position where white has perhaps a perpetual. Maybe not. That's close. White's threatening queen e6, so they're just repeating. Looks like white is content to draw, which is understandable because white's down material. Black has an extra pawn. Yeah, and draw agreed. So we're all starting from different positions, right? Yeah, looks like we are. So every game is randomized according to the 960 rules. It's not like all the people in the tournament are playing the same position that I'm playing. Let's see what other games we got. Adrian, I couldn't make it to Title Tuesday this week. I did want to play, though. Just had some other obligations. Thanks, Lars. Okay, so we got Andre Devyatkin playing black in this position, and this is just a draw. Bishop and pawn versus king and rook, 100% drawn. Not sure I would have pushed that pawn if I were black, because now it just looks like black's going to lose it, and we'll have to defend king and rook versus king and bishop, which is still a draw. The thing with this endgame, it's actually not a bad strategy to go to the opposite corner of your bishop. So if you're black, you could head for either the h1 corner or the a8 corner. And even though white can push you back with the king and the rook, and you might get into a situation where, let's say your king is on h1 and your bishop's on g1, that's a well-known fortress with king and bishop versus king and rook. It looks a bit scary, but there's no way to prove a win there. But you can also do what black is doing here, which is try to keep the king as centralized as possible until white tries to push you. But I really hate that decision by black to move the pawn. Play e4 right here. That, to me, makes absolutely no sense because you've got your bishop anchored on this square. If you keep these two things as is, white can never win that position. It's even more of a draw than normal. So, looks either very optimistic or just a mistake. Probably both. I mean, I'm still confident black can defend this position, but no need to give yourself headaches like that. So someone asks, is Chess960 played OTB, ever played OTB? Yeah, so in that article, that Wikipedia article I put up at the beginning of the stream, it was cataloging some of the Chess960 tournaments that have been played. I know there was a tournament in Mainz, Germany, or is it Frankfurt? The Mainz tournament. And that was an event that ran for several years, which featured some of the best players in the world. So occasionally you do see Chess960 tournaments like that. My impression is Chess960 has actually dropped off a bit in terms of recognition and, potential interest from tournament sponsors in the past few years, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some stage it made a comeback. As I said, the first prize from this tournament on chess.com is a entry and a few nights of hotel for a Chess960 tournament that'll take place during the Reykjavik Open in March. I believe it's on one of the off days, or the only off day. Okay, so this game is still going. 112 moves. Are there any other games in progress? Nope, that's the only one. Okay. John, what do you think of a GM like Kotov? I know it's a bit controversial. So Alexander Kotov, he wrote that book, Think Like a Grandmaster. He also wrote Play Like a Grandmaster. I think some of the stuff in that book, Think Like a Grandmaster, is applicable and important, but some of the thinking techniques he espouses are a bit too rigid. The whole concept of candidate moves and investigating them exhaustively, it's been demonstrated that masters don't really think like that. In fact, there was a book published a few years ago by Willie Hendricks called Think First, Move Later. No, sorry, I got that backwards. Move First, Think Later. So Move First, Think Later. That is essentially like an anti-Kotov book in the sense that he really takes issue with this thinking technique, this exhaustive analysis of critical moves that Kotov recommends. And he says that no master really thinks like that. And I tend to agree with Hendricks. When I, as a strong player, look at a position, there are just certain moves that spring to mind, and oftentimes I don't analyze moves in any structured order, outside of absolutely forcing moves like checks and captures, which you should always look at. But barring those, you're going to pursue the threads and the lines that you think are important in the position. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, Hendricks really takes an in-depth look at it in that book. He also has some harsh words for Jeremy Silman, who's a very popular chess author. He wrote How to Reassess Your Chess, The Amateur's Mind. Okay, that game is a draw. Round 2 coming up. Yeah, there's always games like this, Entitled Tuesday and these big online tournaments that just seem to stretch on and on. Okay, so what do we got here? Bishop's on kind of suboptimal spots, I'd say. I'm going to play c4 and see if he notices that his h7 pawn is under attack. So this is an example of a starting position where when I play a move, black can't really respond symmetrically because I would get the jump on them. I'd play queen takes h7, and black can't reply with queen takes h2 because their queen would be hanging. So if I can sneak in queen takes h7, black would just be losing. Their rook would be trapped after that. But I'm pretty sure he's going to see it. He is burning a lot of time, though. I don't know that it's wise to burn that much time on the first move. Okay, G6. Yeah, that seems wise. Okay, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get my bishop on this long diagonal. Almost certainly he's going to play bishop G7 next. Plays F5. Okay. Let's do this. And he wants to attack this pawn. Okay. This knight in the corner is an issue. I don't like that piece. Let's go here. Let's see if I can get him to swap this, and then I'll have immediate pressure on B7. He just castles. Okay. So we could get some sort of opposite side castling position if I want. Let's take. I'm going to develop this knight. And then I'm going to go here, looking for queen c3, and I think I'm going to castle queenside. His king just strikes me as a bit open. His pieces are somewhat far away from his king. Let's go here first. Maybe I can scare him with f4. Look to threaten that. Yeah, do f4. I think he has to play rook e8 now. And, ooh, does he have problems with c5? He might. So rook e8 takes. He'd have to take with a rook and put himself in a pin, which seems bad. Because if he were to recapture with the pawn, he would lose c5. So can I just win a pawn now? And possibly even win b7 after that. So if takes, he's going to play knight a4 is his plan. I see. Clever. Clever, sir. I could play a4 myself here. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Try to go a5. But most importantly, deny him the a4 square for his knight. I think he was banking on that defensive resource. Also might have been interesting to take on e5, and after knight a4, play queen a5, let him take on b2 a check, play king c2. Try to trap his knight. I don't know about that line. That might be good. Plays a6. Okay, so I can just take and try to win that pawn. I think I'm going to do that. So much for castling queenside now. But I've got my flexibility. I can still castle the other way if I want. Rook a7. That just looks ugly. Okay, a5 is going to push his knight to c8. No, this has got to be bad. I have knight d7 coming. He has to move the knight. If he counterattacks my knight, let's say queen d6, I take. He takes c5. He would be on my rook on g1, so maybe that was an option for him. Yeah, but now this is just tremendous. Can take on f8. I can also take on e5 with check. Just bank a couple pawns. Now let's take this. Let's go for the material. Queen a3. Get the queens off the board. Going to develop this knight now. And I might castle short. Now I think I am going to castle short. Because A, that's fun. And B, it looks like I'm going to be expanding on the queen side, so I want to do that. Take, and I think b4 now. Just push. That move seems very desperate. Let's go c5. Then take. Probably he's going to come into c3. Try to attack e2. I don't think there's a whole lot else he can do. This rook is not a happy camper on a7. Not at all. So I'm just up 2 pawns plus an exchange. This should be easy work. But you can never relax in chess. Never, ever. Knight e5. Okay, I'm thinking just knight d6, jump in. There's also knight g5, which looks awfully good as well. But now let's play knight d6. Open the bishop. If he takes, I take with the rook. Gain a tempo on his bishop. Plays knight c3. Okay. Don't think there's any reason to give him e2. Yeah. I'll just play rook d2. b7, I think, is going to fall of its own accord. Take this. Just take. Pull this back. He can win e2, but he has to trade more pieces in the process. He doesn't want that. He's down too much material now. Meanwhile, I'm threatening to play rook c1. Attack these two pieces. Always stay vigilant. That's right, Adrian. As I said in a recent video, it has to border on paranoia. Constantly looking at your opponent's threats. Coffee 960, yeah. This is my second coffee of the day. I woke up a bit late, and I just had to mainline my normal coffee that I would drink over the course of an hour. Okay, knight e4, just rook d4 looks like it wins material. Yeah. Attack both pieces. And he resigned. Okay. In that one, I was able to take advantage of his king being on g7, so he committed to castling short pretty early. And I subsequently put my queen on c3, same diagonal as his king, and then took it to this e5 pawn. And as a consequence, the c5 pawn, because after f4, I was always threatening to take, and then win c5. And he did come up with a clever defense, knight b6. I hadn't anticipated that. I thought he would have to just play rook e8. I see now maybe he can also try queen c7 to overprotect c5. Looks like I found a good reply to knight b6 with this a4 move, denying him knight a4. And black was struggling after this. Yeah, rook a7, not a move you want to have to play. And now my knight is within knight fork distance of the queen and the rook. So I pushed him out. I think his last chance here, I haven't fully calculated it, but as far as I can tell, this is the only thing he can try, is queen c7. The idea of take on c5, and even though I can take his rook, he can take my rook on g1 with check. And then come back and win the a7 pawn. So that's probably his last chance. Once he does this, he's down an exchange plus a pawn. It's too much. All right. So that game got done fairly quickly. There's probably a lot of games in progress still. I'm just going to put one on here. Let's see if we can get one of the Super GMs. I don't see MVL playing. Maybe we'll put on Draken. And over 1,200 viewers. I actually can't see the viewer count right now just because of the way my screen is set up, but that's fantastic. Yeah, and the Nakamura vs. Magnus Speed Chess Championship yesterday on chess.com did have over 30,000 viewers most of the time from what I saw. Guys, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, but I will be right back for round number 3 coming up soon. All right. I did wash my hands. No worries there. Let's put up another game. Still lots of games in progress. This is an interesting time control 4+2. Oh, let's check out my opponent for next week, Mr. Laurence Trent. I am Laurence Trent. I'll be playing him in a death match on chess.com next Tuesday. You'll probably see an advertisement or two for it on chess.com, and also I'll post an announcement video. But yeah, we're gonna get it on deathmatch style coming up. So I've been taking a look at a few of his streams. He streams on Twitch just to see what I'm up against. And here he's on half a point. Looks like he has a good position. He's up a pawn against Yan Lao. Drawing chances for white, but I definitely like black. It looks like black should, yeah, be able to do something here. G5, look for G4. Probably rook D2, come behind the pawn. And white may just run out of good moves to make. Okay, white found a good way to push that pawn. Now rook E8 is coming, and black might have to monitor the D8 square with both pieces. But these pawns are marching. Glad you caught a stream, Noki. John, what's it like being a professional chess player? Asks Andrew. Well, I'm not a professional player. I'm a coach, first and foremost. I mostly give lessons. That's how I make my living. I'm also a co-founder in Chessable, which is a chess e-learning platform. And I make YouTube videos. It's a bit of supplemental income. So I'm not a professional player, but I mean, I would consider myself a chess professional. And it's really nice. I mean, I'm incredibly lucky to work on a board game, have that be my life's work, really, unless I get into something else. But it's fantastic. It's worked out really, really well for me. I wouldn't recommend doing chess full-time unless you're a titled player. I think at minimum, you probably have to be an FM to make it worthwhile. Obviously, the higher the title, the better. So if you're below like 2,300 FIDE, I wouldn't do it, seriously. Okay, we're into the next game now. I'm playing Schrodinger's cat. I feel like I played this player before. I think they give that extra minute at the beginning as opposed to 3+2, just so people can orient themselves in the position. And he opens the fianchetto bishop. And I feel like in this position, you know what? Let's play b5. Let's be a bit more aggressive. But given that the bishops are in both corners, I think it's important that you get a diagonal for it. So yeah, I should play this to keep out his bishop here. He plays d4. All right, well, maybe now I'll play g6. And I think I'm going to castle kingside. I'm already looking to do that. Yeah, let's just play that immediately. Okay, brings this knight out. I'm going to develop this guy. I think he's too going to castle short soon. He does. Okay, I could try to set up some sort of King's Indian-like position. Let's go d6, and I'm going to put this knight on f6. It does block my fianchetto bishop, but it's going to stop any e4 attempts. If I can stop white playing e4 and c4, I look to be in good shape. I think eventually I'd like to play c5 or play on the queen side somehow. This looks like a fianchetto King's Indian. Yeah, Schrodinger's cat is going to try to box you out. That's right. Someone says this is a position that will lead to normal chess. I somewhat agree. I think it's looking like a normal-ish position now. I also might just try to squeeze him on the queen side. I mean, a5, b4, knight d5, moves like that. I'm liking. In fact, let's gain some space. e4 is not a threat. I've got two pieces on that square. So just play for space. I'm mainly trying to restrict his pawn breaks. E4, C4, A4. I feel like if I do that, I should have a good position. I would actually say I'm slightly better here. But everything remains to be decided. Both kings are safe. I don't think there's much danger of one side launching an attack suddenly. Let's go here. He might be thinking about queen A3. So I'm just trying to cramp him. Goes A3. Okay. Wonder if I should put this knight on D7. Also, this seems interesting too. Maybe trying to come into C3. I do allow him to play E4 with this move, but knight coming into C3, I'm going to kill off his dark square bishop. Maybe I can play for the 2-bishop advantage after that. I'm going to pre-move this capture. He does play E4. All right, let's go in. He's going to take. He has to. So pressure on this guy. And at some point, look to include this dark square bishop, which has no opponent now. He goes ahead and plays E5. Interesting. So maybe he's looking for E5, E6, like a very quick shove of the pawn all the way to E6. So I could play knight E4, but I'm a bit worried about my knight being out there. I think knight D5 is more sensible. It's complicated. Don't want to allow his queen in so easily. I'm going to go here. Control the H6 square, maybe play around with some bishop H6 plan in the future. Yeah, and I was kind of hoping he would take so I can go queen B7, but yeah, I'm seeing this pawn could be an issue. Though I'm not sure even about that. C5 now? What's happening after C5? Let's do it. Looks complicated and interesting. You got to get this piece in play. If I just lose the C3 pawn with no compensation, then that's not going to work out well. So here, if I take and then take E5, what's happening? I can also play pawn takes here. Let's try that. Take this way. And if he takes on E5, I believe he loses a piece. Again, because of the back rank stuff in the... Oh, no, he's not. Never mind. I hallucinated a bit there. Is he? Take on D8? No, he isn't. But I'm going to have counterplay. Okay, so take. I think he has to take D8 now. He does. Take. Can play rook D2. Rook D2 is interesting. Let's do that. Come in. I got to play actively now. I'm not worried about knight C6 because I have queen here and he's pinned. I am somewhat worried about this pawn, though. If he takes on C3, I take F2. But yeah, gotta watch the C pawn. That could be his ace in the hole. That time is going to get to him. Especially if the position becomes sharp. I like my chances. Is he going to go c6 now? I think he is. Probably queen c7 if he plays that. Or queen d6 even. Queen d6 might be even better. Queen d6, king g1. Sharp, very sharp. I think on c6 I'm just going to quickly play queen c7. Goes king g1 right away. Pin that guy. I think he has to gamble on c6. But might be too little too late. That was a big miss on his part, I think. Yeah, he's just going to give the piece. Well, let's keep the attack going. Threatening rook d8. I think I see some tactics. If queen c3, I have rook takes c5 now. Important idea. He probably sees that too. Step there. Looking for queen f3. This move looks darn near deadly. Just take that guy. Go here, threaten this pawn. Look for bishop here. Yeah, take. Rook comes in. And I think that's just going to win. Yeah, it's too much. Check. Go pick up this pawn. Yeah. All right. So the big clash came when I played my knight into c3 on move 10. So he committed to playing e4, which invites knight c3. Take, take. So now he has the center. I have doubled c-pawns, but I've got two bishops. It's double-edged. And I think the other important moment was when I decided to play c5, because after queen e3, if this pawn simply drops, I probably won't have much compensation. I need to open the position for my bishops. And the primary way you open a position is through your pawns. You look for pawn trades, you look for ways to clear lines, and pawns are usually in the way. They're preventing you from opening lines. So that's what c5 was all about. After takes, I have an interesting choice. I mean, I could take on f3 and then take on e5 with the bishop and try to hold c3, but it seemed more interesting to do this and keep my dark square bishop on g7 and maybe try to eliminate his light square bishop, which is a key defender of his king. And despite the fact that white's up a pawn here, it feels like I have a clear initiative, and there's a lot for white to think about. This, the queen coming to b7, the potential defense of f2 if I take on e5 or something. It's a lot to handle, and he was running relatively short of time. All right, so we're on 3 out of 3. Looking good in the standings. Let's take a look at, who do we want to watch? Oh, let's look at MVL, who's playing Lion Beast, or Armakiba. So GM versus GM matchup. Looks great for white. He's going to pick up a bunch of pawns or hide his king and threaten mate. That's a nice move. Queen g6 and queen h8 are checkmate threats, and black can't do anything about that other than sack his queen. So MVL resigns. MVL loses. Wow. Okay, so good start for Armakiba. That looks like almost a Dutch-style position. What was their starting position here? I'm just looking at the move list, and it looks like normal moves. D4, D5, G3, Bishop G2, Knight F3. So the queen started in the corner. Fianchettos. A lot of Fianchettos happen in Chess960, I've noticed. You've already seen that with my games in this stream. Because you do want to set your bishops up on diagonals that are going to be helpful going into the middle game. And unlike a normal chess position where the bishops start on these squares, I think in 960 you're more likely to try to get it on some swooping diagonal rather than just develop it straight to the center. Seems like the majority of positions in Chess960, there's less direct center play. Okay. Let's see what other games are going. Niklas is on 3 out of 3. Niklas Huschenbett. Only one game, and it's Aman's game. Aman Hamilton, the newly crowned or nearly crowned GM. He's just waiting on his confirmation from FIDE at their next Congress, which I think is February, maybe? So he's up a pawn here, but this position definitely looks like a draw. This pawn is a long ways away from promotion. You never know, though. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I didn't have the position backwards or something. I don't think I like what white is doing, though. Roaming too far with their king. You don't want to get skewered here if you're white, of course. Now he could play king c3. But yeah, you don't want to get your king too far away from in front of this pawn either. Just play king here. There's no reason not to, I don't think. Okay, now, yeah, you can't go there because of check on g3. And Aman's going to crawl forward. Okay, actually, I think black's winning now. Queen a3. Yeah, so that was the problem there. So you can now trade and then bring his king around like this. And white will not gain the opposition, or even up like that. He's going to play king b5 next. King b5, king a4, run this pawn. He's going to shoulder white's king out. Yeah, that was poor defense by white. I mean, I could be wrong that maybe there are more difficulties here for white, but it doesn't look like it. I think he just missed a couple opportunities to play the king to c3, like right in this position. No reason not to play that. There's no check on the third rank that's any good, so your king's going to get back. But as played, Aman is going to win. So nice conversion by him. Nazu, I have 3 out of 3. All right, and that was the last game. So on to round 4. Here are the standings. 8 players with 3 out of 3. Oh, wait, did MVL win that game? Did I just misread that? Yeah, MVL did win that, right? Okay, I'm playing multivitamin. Again, I'm thinking about the Fianchetto, just g3 right away. Yeah, I'm going to do that. This h-pawn is loose. So again, probably a situation where I'm going to castle short or strongly consider castling short. Let's get this here. Maybe I can play bishop to c3 and trade for this guy in the future. Plays e5. Okay. I'm going to head for some sort of English-style position. Knight coming here. If he plays d6, I have to keep in mind that queen h3 is a threat. So I'm thinking I'll castle or play bishop g2. Probably bishop g2. Just think d6 is a very likely move, but he puts his knight on e6. All right. Maybe b4. Can I try to rush him with my pawns here? No, I'm just going to develop first. Get coordinated before getting too ambitious. Now if I plop this knight on d5, this could always be an issue, huh? Let's do that. Maybe now b4, b5 becomes more tempting. Try to shove that knight off. But most likely he'll move his queen here. I see some possible play developing, like bishop c3, knight here, knight f5, maybe renew the threats on e7, get a bit closer to his king. Wow. Okay, so a queen could come in here, but he'll just meet that with bishop here. Let's go here, threatening b5. So he's got to be careful. I think he has to play queen here now. And then maybe I'll put this bishop on c3. Wait, what? That's just blundering a piece, right? b5, what do you got? Remove that capture. I think that's going to be a piece for a pawn. In my favor. Ryan, it's approaching 1 o'clock p.m. my time. Surprising miss by him. I don't know if he just missed that his knight was the sole defender of e7 or what, but yeah, that's going to be costly. So now I think he's figuring out how he can best give up the piece, but there's not too many options. I think that queen has to come to d8, either here or on the next move. Couple games now where early castling from my opponent, castling on the king side, has got them in trouble. Okay, so up the piece. He's going to expand in the center once my knight gets kicked back, but obviously I'm very happy. Okay, let's go here. Thinking maybe I can get in bishop b4, especially if he pushes d5 immediately. So he goes there. I can castle short. Let's do that. The knight d4, though, is a bit annoying, isn't it? This comes in here. Actually, no. I think that's all right. I'm going to play queen d2 if he does that. But then he has knight b3. So maybe queen b2 first. Knight d4, queen b2. If rook b8, then queen d2. Try to exchange for this knight, like knight c2 coming up. It's a little awkward. But I didn't like this rook being lined up with my king for too long when he's pushing his f-pawn. I can also just play knight c3. Yeah, just knight c3 if he does that. Okay. Play this knight out of the way. So he's got an intimidating looking center, but I must be better. No question. Try to trade that bishop. d4. Okay, come back here. And if I take, he's got d3, which might still be good for me, but looks like I might not want to risk that. Some pieces hanging there, so let's just pivot with this knight. Bring it up here. Nice outpost square. If I can just get rid of these bishops, maybe trade one pair of bishops, I think I'm looking good for the conversion. Let's go here, hit this pawn. Look for bishop e5 maybe. I think I'm also happy if he trades this knight for the bishop. He's going to rush his kingside pawns, like g5 probably now. No, bishop d5. Okay. Just push this. Start making use of that a pawn. And why not? Push it further. Now he's looking for bishop h6. I'm going to come back, maybe go here next. Queen a3. f4. Okay, but I can take here now. What's he arguing? He's going to go d3 after that? Yeah, that's what he's saying. Okay. So let's come here. Take that. It's a pretty wild position. Maybe he can take on e2? I don't know. Gonna take on f2. I don't know what's going on here. Yes, rook was hanging. Ah, that was not a good move. Queen d6. Queen d6. Ugh. That was poor. Take there. Don't know what to do. Let's go here. Running out of time. But he has trouble defending this bishop, I think. I hope. Take. He has a check on e3, but I go king h2. Let's take. Yikes. His rook takes g2. Maybe I can perpetual him. Don't like it. But if he steps here, I have knight e4. Knight e4 to the rescue. With the fork. He missed that, clearly. Oh, move, John. Go here. Whoa. No, don't want to do that. Don't want to castle queenside. I'm trying to pre-move the capture, and it's not working. Take this. This game is crazy, guys. Check. Trying to mate him. He's not cooperating, though. Okay, now I'm totally winning. Just gotta steady my nerves. And he resigned. Whoa. Oh. I almost flagged there. When I was trying to figure out what to do after I won as queen, I almost flagged. Which is downright ridiculous, given how winning I was. Oh. I let that one get out of hand. No question. Most likely the game should be a draw after rook takes g2 check. Yeah, because if he can never come to g5, I mean, he just missed knight e4, but if he can't do this, then the game should be a draw because I don't think I have grounds to play for a win when I'm staring down a mate in one threat. That was intense. Yeah. I needed all your guys' support on that one. I mean, it felt like I was giving him too much play, but in my defense, after I win the piece like this, it does look like he's going to get a big center, and he maximized his chances with that wonderful pawn center and also the bishops. I think he played his bishops to good squares, like this bishop coming to d5, and then later on, pushing e3 and c4, creating maximum confusion. That's what you got to do when you're in a bad position. Knees weak, arms spaghetti. That's right. There's vomit on my sweater already. All right. Let's see who else is playing here. So, could I play MVL next round? It's a definite possibility. But for now, let's take a look at a game. Whew. So this game looks completely winning for white, I think. Yeah, knight d7 or knight a6. White should eventually be able to promote. They might have to prove the king and knight and bishop versus king checkmate, but it should be a win. Ah, yeah, definitely now, because this is a threat. Looks like black has to play this move. Threaten promotion. All right, and white is going to go into this. They seem confident in their technique. White is a grandmaster, after all. John versus MVL. Let's do it. Round 5, the critical matchup. I would love that. I'm focused. I'm calm and ready to drop bombs. But I keep on forgetting what I wrote down. But it doesn't matter because it's Chess960. You don't have to remember opening theory. Okay, that wasn't a rhyme, but... Milad, that was round 4. Round 5 is next. It's a 9-round tournament. Let's see how white does this. So white wants to drive the king to one of these corners, h1 or a8. And the conventional way you do that is you try to get, if you're going for this corner, let's say, he's going to get his knight to f7. He's going to play this in next. So yeah, we're going to see the driving technique. And now bishop h7 coming next. Bishop h7 here, knight e5. You stop the king from escaping. King e6, knight d7, bishop d3, cut off the king. Now, yeah, bishop b5. And now you just got to corner that king. Almost seems like white went into this just to test himself. He's like, I'm going to just test my technique. I think I would have played knight b7 there, but it doesn't matter. Instead of knight e6. But now the king is cornered in the correct color square. Correct color corner. And checkmate. Nicely done by Mishonic. Hey, John, why don't you think 960 is more popular? Seems like the most pure chess variant, asks Justin. And hello to you, Justin. Good to see you again. I think Chess960 isn't as popular simply because the conventional chess position has so much history attached to it. That's what we all grew up learning to play. There's been, now 150 plus years of established theory in the standard chess starting position. So that's one of the major things that I think is not necessarily preventing 960 from becoming popular, but maybe ensures that the normal starting position will be the go-to position for quite a while. People don't want to deviate from it. So just visibility. Okay, JS Martinez. I keep getting pretty good pairings. So what to do in this game? Again, these bishops. I'm going to go with the fianchetto again. Threatening b7 right away, by the way. So he's maybe going to develop a knight, pushes a pawn. Okay. Let's open this guy too. So get this bishop working here. Now he's threatening b2. So probably knight c3. Develop. I don't mind if he doubles my pawns. This seems like a powerful bishop, so I wouldn't mind him trading. He might play d5. I think that would be a natural continuation since he started with c6. Okay. Let's bring this guy out. Fighting for some of those central squares. With an eye towards playing e4 and opening the position this way. e4 pawn takes. I could take with the knight, since this knight on d3 would be defending the b2 pawn. I think I like that. Let's play it. Targeting castling long, although I do have to watch out for these bishops. I have to remember that this bishop is always going to be eyeing a2. Okay. Tempted to go here. Knight g5 looks pretty good. Let's do it. And if I get in knight e6, he'd have to swap off this bishop. So maybe I can get the two bishop advantage. He can think about queen f5 here. Maybe swing his queen over this way. That would be an interesting maneuver. Queen f6 instead. Okay. To me, that doesn't look as good as queen f5, but still certainly valid. Well, queen h3 now. I'm even thinking about c3, bishop d4, but I like queen h3. It hits this pawn twice and, again, eyes the e6 square. This is awkward to defend all of a sudden. Because he can't play h6, I just grab it. h5, structurally, maybe not the greatest, because g6 is weak. Okay, so he plays his knight back to f8. Probably smart. Now c3. Do I like c3? Maybe. But I think I also just like castling. Let's do that. Got my rooks lined up nicely in the center. So I look pretty active here. Can he take on a2? Again, I told myself not to forget about that, and I forgot about it. I mean, I can take h7, I guess. But I still should have been aware. Okay, now I'm definitely thinking about c3. c3 with bishop d4. Yeah, let's do that. I want to blunt this queen. Maybe he won't notice this threat. If he plays queen f5, I'll probably have to take it. Yeah, let's take. Now maybe king over. Yeah, let's do that. Tough position to evaluate. Queenless middle game. If he kicks me, I'm thinking knight back to f3 and at some point look to attack his f5 pawn, come to d4 or h4. Agnio is calling for a double bishop mate. Too early to say. Much too early. Just got to focus here. Okay. I like what's happening with my bishop against his knight. That's promising. Let's go here. I think maybe I can bother him with this move. Not very subtle what I'm doing, because there's hardly any reason other than playing bishop h3 that I would do that. I think he's going to try to come here with his bishop and swap for my bishop on g2. He does? Okay. I'm okay with this trade. This knight is kind of in the way. But let's first perhaps double. Maybe I even make room for this. He's challenging me to take because he's going to play b6 after that. Okay. I'm going to bring this back. Thinking this knight goes here. I double. Maybe I do this and possibly something like that. Let's double up. C5. Okay, I'm going to send this one here. And now this is a threat. No, it's not. Never mind. This is defending twice. But could be a threat in the future. Let's bring this up. I'm going to go here. Tempting to play d4, but I don't want to give away the e4 square yet. I think some stuff will happen on the queen side now. I'm going to pivot. Maybe this. Okay. Thinking about a4. But I'm not sure I want to open that up. Let's go here. This looks like a weird location for this piece, but maybe I can threaten some stuff on this square. And I gotta play faster. Will he go c4? I might play c4 myself if I get the chance. Go there. I'm going to hop in. This is tense. He's playing well. It's been pretty balanced. Maybe black is even slightly better. He has more space. Anything could happen, though. I'm going to try for the g4. I'm going to break on that side. That looks like a favorable transformation for me. I think. This pawn. Try to maneuver this knight. I definitely like what happened there. He's got to watch out now. This seems fragile. Okay, so he reinforces. Come back. Knight takes c4, maybe. Did I blunder that? I'm going to take. I don't know what else to do. Knight b2. Blunder. Yeah, just blunder that big time. Ooh. Check. Okay, that's a big turnaround. He blundered back. Let's get the king up now. That's a big turnaround. Take this. Take that. Push that pawn. You might have a hard time stopping that. Don't think I have to rush that. Just want to guard my pawn. No, but if he takes it, I have check. That's important. I could have played king f4. Okay, now I think this is promoting. Go here so he can't go knight e3. And I won. Wow. Another big turnaround there, guys. Got in, knight takes e6 check. I landed that. That was the story of the knights. Because his knight came into c4. Yeah, I got over-optimistic with knight b3. Let me back that up to that position. Move 42. Knight b3, blunder. Knight takes c4, and all of a sudden, monster fork on e3 that I can't stop. I probably have some better way to play this, but I couldn't figure it out. I had almost no time left. I knew I was going to get forked somehow. But fortunately, he blundered, allowing knight takes e6. And then I think I'm better. It's equal material at this point, but he has weaker pawns than I do. Yeah, and I was able to guide that home. Picked up his A pawn, picked up one of his D pawns. Thought I blundered for a second with king e3, but luckily for me, if he ever does this, I have rook a6 and I pick up his knight. So, okay. So is MVL the only other perfect score? Because that would be sick. Yeah, MVL, there you see on the standings, 5 out of 5. Let's do this. We got to ride this wave. I want to go to Reykjavik. Come on. Fire emojis. I need them in the chat. All right, and here we go. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Okay, another position with the bishops in the corners. Yeah, and he knows that. Let's go here. Queen comes in. Queen into the action. Okay. Just going to play h5. Wonder if he's going to gun for this. Kind of looks like it. So maybe e6. Stopping knight c5. Take a big swig of Starbucks. And get ready to fight. I want this in. If he checks, I can play queen e7. I'm also ready to castle long if I want to. Which I may just do, actually. Or maybe knight c6 first. Yeah, let's go knight c6 first. I push pawns over here, so I don't think castling short is the way. I think castling long is what I need to do. f4. All right. This queen is very far away from my king now. It looks a little weird on h3. Maybe I can get a knight c4 and some sort of attacking gesture against his queen side. I'm also looking at just b6. Now, but I think I like knight c4 better. And the b3, plant this here. Looks kind of annoying. Pressure c2. If ever his king runs, he might run into knight d4. Okay, now, I think I should try to open the center of the board. d6. Or b6 first. One of the two. Let's go b6 first. That way, if he ever takes, I can take with the bishop. But that's a good counter. Maybe d5. Block his bishop out. He can still castle queenside, by the way. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. Wow. Okay, that I didn't see. Yeah, I'm pinned here. Whoops. Okay. Maybe I have some compensation, though. Step out of the pin. We'll just play that off as a sacrifice against his king. Okay. I might be ready to drop that queen to g2. So maybe I got to play knight d4 now. This bishop is a big problem. I got to get that into the game somehow. Maybe even at the expense of playing f5. Or maybe I have to play for f5, I'm saying. That looks so ugly, though. He's also covering knight takes c2. g5, perhaps? All right, got to open up the position. Maybe I can play g4, knight f3, especially if he plays a move like rook f1. I don't want to allow his queen to swing over to a4, which I think is what he's trying to do. It's a creative move right there. Okay. Just going to take. If he takes d4, I got to back out. Are there any shots with knight takes d2? Doubtful. Yeah, just got to come back out here. Yeah, now queen a4 is a threat. And knight b5, he has a4. I'm just going to take. I don't know. He might be able to play queen a4, but I'm hoping I get something against his king side. The fact that he can still castle, though, is quite annoying. Ooh, that move. Ugh. Oh, man. That's crushing. I think that's almost game over. This is a threat. That's a threat. What do I do about that? I'll try that. I don't know what to do. Yeah, just didn't see what else to play. So he just takes. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll resign. All right, so we get crushed by MVL. He just saw more stuff than I did at the critical moments there. I think mainly starting with bishop takes d5. I just missed that could be played. I sort of feel at this point my position is decent still. I mean, the knight on a3, it's debatable if that's a good piece or a bad piece. I thought it would create some trouble for him on the queen side, but the more I think about it, probably not, because I mean, knight takes c2 is virtually my only threat associated with that move. And it's not even interfering with his right to castle. He can still castle queenside. His king is not passing through check. So, yeah, that wasn't so good. And I think after this, the position is simply bad. It was hard to evacuate my knight from the c3 square after this. But I didn't mind the position I had at the opening. Knight c4. Maybe in hindsight, just b6. And if e5, stick the knight on f5 is better. But, okay, hindsight's 20/20. Not bad, though. We're still on a good score. 5 out of 6. 3 rounds remaining. Yeah, no problem. Let's take a look at a game. Anyone major we haven't followed yet? Nah. Let's check out this game. Oparin versus Andreykin. Sharp position. Looks like black is doing well. Some tactics around these pieces. Possible check here. I don't know what it does, though. Probably not much. Black just plays king a7. Nico says, I saw d5 as a mistake and I'm 1300 rating. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So these players are on 3.5. Okay. I'm not going to scrutinize the scores too much because it's pretty early for that. But it is fun to check out how these guys play. What was the starting position here? Okay. Yeah, centralizing. I think the hardest piece in Chess960 to get a hold of, get a real handle on, are the knights. Because we're so used to the knights in the starting squares, and in 960 they're often closer to the corner, or in the corner, I should say. I know in normal chess they are close to the corner, but when you have a knight on h1 or a1, it proves especially problematic. I sometimes just think those positions are ugly right from the get-go. I don't like playing them. Okay, so Oparin has an extra piece, but black is active, white's king is exposed, and if king a2, there's knight b4. Knight b4, GG. Yeah, Oparin just missed that completely. He had to play queen b1 or knight b1 or queen d1. But, yeah, tough position with little time. Probably knight b1 looks best to try to win the c4 pawn. But there you go. Fork to win the game for Andreykin. Who else is in the mix here? So Sergio Chess has 5.5 out of 6. That's a very good score, too. Looks like I'm going to play a GM next. unless some of these other scores bump up. Let's see. Let's take a look at Bartosz Soczko. I've lost to this guy OTB before. Strong Polish Grandmaster. And he's up 2 pawns. Should be excellent winning chances for white. Thanks, Duckface. Duckface says, nothing can stop our dear John unless it's interrupting Caruana or a girl from Egypt. Yep. So in this game, the H-pawn is going to be problematic for black. It already is. It's a few squares away from promotion. This knight is centralized. White just stopped any knight e3 business. So just push this pawn, h6. How is black going to handle this? It's now check and h7. And already I think that's game over. If rook here, white can use a typical trick, rook a8. Well, white could have played rook a8 there. Or this. This also works. Yeah, and that's a win. Easy win now. Easiest way is just to trade the rook for the knight and win, just like with the technique we saw Amon display, because black will never gain the opposition here. And white is so flexible because the pawn hasn't moved. White has a million tempos. Reserve tempi. Okay, who else do we have? 2 games going. Earl Grey now, completely winning. That game will be over soon. And also this game, where black also looks totally winning. All right, so round 7 will start any moment now. And we're going to get someone good. This is a critical game. I'd say this is a must-win game, or at least must not lose for getting in the prizes. So 2 IMs, Renato Terry Lujan, myself, Arabic Falcon, Bartosz Soczko. MVL and Sergio Chess are going to play, it looks like. And here we go. Arabic Falcon. Bishop's in the corner. Let's start with this move. Attack that pawn. The English. Oh, I'm not attacking that pawn. Never mind. It's defended by the knight. Okay. Good start, John. Let's go here. G6. Okay. I'll open that bishop. I think he's going to do the same. B6 and offer a trade. Take him up on that. Develop. This knight probably coming to c3. Yeah. Castling, I think, remains an open question. Maybe short. He's getting aggressive on this side of the board. Maybe long now. He's controlling a lot of territory with his pawns. I'd like to jump in, but he's just going to play c6 if I do. I don't think this sacrifice is any good. Although interesting. Hmm. Spending a bit of time here, but I'm just not that thrilled about my position as it stands. Castles, you can just play c6. Don't like that. I'm going to go here. This move looks weird, but I want to activate my queen somehow. I'd love for him to play knight c6 so I can get in a knight to d5 right away. Plays knight f7. Okay. I'm going to get this in play. Just bring it out a little bit. Maybe bishop a3 will be helpful in the future. Sort of feels like we're playing a game of chicken right now, where I'm down a minute on the clock. I'm going to castle that way, now that he's blocked the queen. Yeah, somehow he just organized much better pawn play than I did, though, in the center. Okay, let's go knight here. I'm looking for maybe f4. Plays e4. All right, so I cajoled his pawns forward. Now he castles. d3, undermine. Take that guy. Knight b5. Yeah. Opening the c file, maybe looking at knight c7, bishop takes g7, queen b2, ideas like that. Okay, now I feel much more comfortable, but gotta play faster. Okay, let's go here. Trying to double up the rooks. Maybe he can go knight d6. Knight d6, knight b5, knight c3. He might drop the knight in. I'm also going to look for an opportunity to bring my knight back into the game. Ooh. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to push that. It weakens my king side a bit, but I don't like that knight coming into h3. Double. If e3, okay. Thinking about rook c6 and queen up to c4. I need to make use of the c file, but c6 is the only square I truly own on that file. And I gotta hurry before he gets something against my king. Maybe even rook a4 next move. Although I don't like my rook there. He takes. Surprising. Bit surprising. Huh. I'm gonna take with a queen. I know he has knight c5 here, but it feels right. Okay. Still looking for this. I saw I might lose this, but I was hoping I win d4 back in the process. Ooh, are there issues with d3? I hope not. Maybe not. Take here. He's pinned. Ah, nice. Very nice. Yep, tactic right there. Bishop f2. Yeah, that was nicely played. Not much I can do here. I'll play it out a little bit, but yeah, this is probably just resignable. Yeah, especially with bishop e5 coming. Ah, that hurts. That was a nice sequence he came up with right there. I thought bishop takes d4 was playable, but nope. He demonstrated why. Rook takes d4, and that's pretty final. There's no way I can confuse the issue. So I guess right here I have to play on down a pawn, but it's not good. Bishop f2 is coming no matter what if he wants to stabilize this. Yeah, my rook is loose on c6. Suppose I should play a move like rook c7 I can't play either. Brutal. But as I was saying in the opening, I didn't feel comfortable after, about 7 or 8 moves. I think he did a better job of realizing how to activate the pawns. I was developing my knight to good center squares, but the deficiencies of my D, E, and F pawns are really telling here. I can't get them onto sensible squares. Meanwhile, he's expanding. He also has this possibility, as he played in the game, of c6 and d5. That said, I thought my position improved right around here, where I was starting to undermine his center. I thought there was even a chance I could be better, but I think he maintained control nicely, especially heading towards my king like he did with knight g5. h4 is just one of these moves you hate to play, because I know it's going to weaken my king. It makes g3 weaker, but the alternative was allowing him to play knight h3, having my king go to the corner, and then forever worry about his queen on the same diagonal there, the h1, a8 diagonal. So I was stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point. And I think I'm not in time to really bother him on the c file. Maybe I should take with a pawn here. Pawn takes. Didn't want to weaken f3. I was thinking if pawn takes, maybe somehow he plays like g5. If I trade, there's the knight coming in. But that might be a better option. Take this way. Perhaps I can even shift to playing on the e file. He might still play this move, which also looks tough to deal with. Okay, those are the breaks. No GM norm this tournament. We're still on 5 out of 7, though. Good score. Let's take a look at a game. Let's take a look at Niklas. Niklas Huschenbett. How is he doing? He is down a piece and losing, and he just lost. Okay. To Vera Nebelcina. WGM. All right. No, don't withdraw from that tournament. I wanted to see the games. Okay, these two guys both have good scores. 5 out of 5 playing each other. And Renato is going to lose. He just got his knight trapped. This a-pawn can just run. That is a corralled knight right there. You see how the bishop takes away the squares from the knight? That's a classic pattern. Easy win for black. Okay, Quintiliano versus Kazakov. Konstantin Kazakov. Queen endgame. This one could go for a while. Yeah, especially since it looks like black has a perpetual. Check on f2 or h2. And how does white's king ever cross the 4th rank without losing this pawn is the question. Yeah, that's just a draw. And white offered it. Okay. So, 2 rounds remaining. I'm on 5 out of 7. Can still finish very well, but I need to win. And I'm playing Renato. Don't know if I played this player before, but I see him in the Title Tuesday arena all the time. Okay, so here, castling kingside would be very interesting in this game, given how far away the king and the rook are. F4. Opens that bishop. I like F5. I'll play symmetric for now. Open this dude. So we both have potential pressure against the kings. I'm thinking go here. Reinforce b7, maybe knight c4 in the future. What about a5? Try to bother that knight. I may just play a4. I'm going to go c6, I think. Try to blunt this bishop. He wants knight c5, maybe. Okay. Develop. Now I'm looking at knight f7 to offer a trade for that knight. If ever he takes on b6, I have to take with a pawn, but I don't mind that. Just want to get rid of this knight on e5. And I don't think he wants to retreat it, although he just did. Fair enough. E5 is possible, but perhaps a bit weakening. How about knight a4? Let's go knight a4. Attack b2. If c3, I can play bishop takes c3. Important. Take that. Develop the queen. Okay, so now this knight is pinned. Maybe I can think about c5. c5 he has... No, he doesn't have queen a5. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to go here. He can still castle short now. That's definitely worth pointing out. Oh, but he can't. Well, I can't at least. Never mind. Let's play d6. If I want to castle short, my bishop can't be standing here. It's my king. That's where my king needs to go. And he's going to trade the queens. Okay. Yeah. Understandable. I'm going to bring this back just to reinforce. He can go knight g5, but I can just kick him out with h6. So I'm thinking now maybe king c7 and knight c6 is a way to continue. I'm just going to play knight c6 right away. King up. Look for rook b8. He's probably going to commit to b3 at some point. Maybe I can swing this knight around, begin swinging it around. So he's maybe thinking about e4. Rook there, b3, knight b6. Here, take. Rook takes. That's a bit annoying. I'm going to bring this back right away. Try to defend this. I know I got to play faster. Knight d5, maybe? Let's go knight d5. Ah, just c4. Awful. That's a bad blunder. Okay. That was not a good one. He had easy pressure down the e-file. Got to try to defend this now. I mean, all hope is not lost. This is a tough position, but shouldn't panic yet. Ah, what do I do, though? All right, I'm going to take. Let's bring the knight in. You can take on f7, maybe, but I'm hoping that that doesn't hurt me too much. Play for counterplay. Knight f2. I'm going knight f2. I don't know the consequences, but gotta try. That knight could come into f5. I'm banking on bishop takes c4. Try it. Really? Okay. Okay, now rook d8 could be a threat. First, let's do this. He wants to go to e5. But I want to win f4 really bad. Oh man, my coordination is pretty awful right now. King e3. King e3. Yikes. Almost flagged there. That's a full piece, but didn't know what to do. Yeah, he just wins that. Okay. Third loss in a row. That one was also pretty bad. Probably the worst game I've played because of my time management. Yeah, he was making good, quick blitz decisions, and I was struggling. I didn't figure out a good counter to this plan of rook e1 followed by e4. That just proved quite effective for him. Rook e1 and e4. I'm thinking now maybe I should just reinforce e7 and not trade. Because by trading, I gave him one extra tempo, and I felt like I was in trouble at this point. I mean, I could play king here or here, but I just saw this plan of him jumping in and my c6 pawn maybe being weak. But it fell apart pretty rapidly after this, and h6 was just a terrible move. a3, what is he trying to do with that move? Question you should always ask yourself. He's trying to play c4 without me being able to play knight b4 check. That's what happened here. c4, knight b4, and he can't win e7 yet. He has to do something with his king. So I just didn't ask myself that fundamental question, why he is playing that move. And I tried for some sort of silly counterplay on the king side, and it didn't work. Opening was fine. Thought I had a little pressure, actually, when I got my queen to b6, but this seems like a good counter. Queen d2 to a5, offering a trade. So that's a letdown after I started 5 out of 5 to lose the last 3 games, but been playing good opponents. I'll try to finish on a high note here in the last round. Just taking a look at the standings. So MVL has 7.5 out of 8. Sergio Chess, another grandmaster, has 7 out of 8. Devyatkin has 6.5. Several people with 6. So it's competitive up there. Thank you, Dogukan. I'll try to stay confident. Just catching up on the chat right now. Other people spamming? I see a couple people saying we need a mod in the chat. I see at least one person who needs to be put in a timeout. That's actually what it's called on YouTube chat. You can put a user in a timeout. So I just had to do that with someone. Thanks, Teddy. Have I ever played Jerry from Chess Network? Yes, I have. Not for quite a long time, but I played him on Lee Chess before. Any plans to upload 960 games to the channel as a series? And before I answer that, let me click to a game. Let's do this one. I do have, I think, a couple 960 videos. I remember I played a Lee Chess Arena with Andrew Tang, the Penguin GM. And I think I also played another like random few games of 960. But if people like them, yeah, I'll try to play it more often. It's the variant that's closest to actual chess. Okay, I almost keep doing this, like clicking out of the tournament. I don't want to withdraw. No, no, no. Okay, last game. I feel like the bishops have been starting here a lot for me. And I'm going to open them. Just develop that. Play e3. Maybe c4 later. Plays e6. I'm already castled, interestingly. Castled. Could play d4 here, open the center. That's interesting. I'm going to go for it. Let's see how he reacts. If he takes, I think I'll take with a pawn. But he's content to set up like a hedgehog formation. Okay. Can I win a pawn here? Not quite. If takes, he takes this way. Looks cool, but it doesn't win anything. All right, let's just play c4. Knight d7. Okay, I think I'm going to take now and maybe jump into e5 if he takes with a d-pawn. Takes there. Okay, I have knight takes c5 now if I want it. It seems to just win a pawn. Oh, no. His queen is defended by the rook. Keep forgetting. All right. Let's just develop now. And I think I'm going to castle short. Move this rook over and castle short. Rook d1 coming next. Yeah. Now I am threatening knight takes c5. So he'll probably move his queen. b6 or e7. Goes to e7. Maybe knight f4. Knight f4 is interesting. See if he'll swap. Open my light square bishop. Plays d5. Okay, take. You can take on f4 with the bishop. Maybe. Pawn takes, knight takes, and then try to wheel back and win d5, but looks like I get some good activity out of that. He's going to take that way. Take. Yeah, he wants this pressure towards my king side. That looks clear. So probably I have to go g3 to reinforce this. Now, whose pressure is more significant? That's a tough question. Could castle here, but I gotta watch for this sacrifice. Maybe it doesn't bother me much in this position, though. Bishop takes f4. Take, take. I'm gonna try it. Let's do it. So just trying to calculate what happens if he plays this. It's a tempting move, but I don't think he'll go for it. Yeah, he doesn't. Okay. Can I do a Greek gift now? Nah, it doesn't work. But knight g5 is interesting. Let's try this. These bishops are just primed for the attack. Looking at queen c2 ideas as well. Queen c2 now. It's also just the immediate knight h7. I think I like this better. Don't have a ton of time. g6 and maybe queen here. Plays f5. All right, do this. I would have liked to play knight f3, but it wasn't working. I got to watch out for this. Knight coming to d4. Time. e5. Take that. If he takes with the rook, I have bishop takes f5. Important. He might go knight d4. I think he'll probably just jump in. Try to create maximum confusion. I gotta take that knight. No doubt. Okay, what is going on here? f3 or check? Probably f3. Take. Okay, now whose king is weaker? So I feel like it might be his king. Now that I've blocked him. Okay, centralize. For rook e8, I can take on d4, is what I'm thinking. I want to go rook e1 after this. If he plays rook d5, he runs into queen b8. It's important. Now I'm up a couple pawns. Some question marks around my king for sure, though. Queen e5. He has checks. Probably should try to trade soon. Bishop e4. I mean, part of me still wants to play for an attack. Whoa, I have very, very little time. G6. No, not G6. Queen E5 against that. Queen E5. Very important move. We're not going for the draw. We can't do it. Got to try to win this thing, guys. Rook d7 coming. Rook d7, can it land? Rook g7, I take on a8. Very important. Doesn't have so many ways he can defend that. Bishop c6, rook d6. And that's going to be checkmate. Okay. He just couldn't find a defense there right at the end. I think it is just losing. I'm up 2 pawns. This is coming in. Yeah. Well, that shocked me when I looked down and I had 2 seconds left. Like right around here. But got the victory. Did I misfire on the attack? Feels that way. So right here, after he castles, I wonder what the best way to play this position. It almost looks like it should be in a tactical puzzle book. Some sort of double bishop sacrifice, evergreen combination. That's what it feels like. But on bishop takes h7, king takes h7, knight g5, king g8, queen h5, he always has the knight coming back to f6. Although I see now I missed that I can play bishop takes f6 there. So maybe this was the way. But I also have to reckon with this possibility. But just to illustrate that other line I was saying, so this, threatened mate, I thought he could do this, but I forgot that I can remove the defender, which wins. But yeah, maybe king g6 or even king h6. That's one thing you always have to calculate with that combination if you're thinking about a Greek gift sacrifice, bishop takes h7, knight g5. Got to see if the king can come out to the 6th rank rather than just back to g8. And maybe he can do this here. Kind of looks like it, because I have a hard time getting my queen over. Well, guess I'm threatening check. King here, queen h7, king f6, knight e4 mate. Maybe. Rook h8, something like this. Quite unclear. But all right, so I finish on a high note at least. I finished with 6 out of 9. Decent score. I'm not going to win a prize because of that score, but I am happy to have got that victory at the end. And MVL won the tournament. There's only one game left. Let's take a look at this, and then we'll take a look at the standings. So my opponent from last game, Renato versus Georg Meyer. Oh yeah, king f6 was illegal. You're right. There's a bishop on a1. Thanks, Browse to Web. He says, my heart is still recovering from your clock. But he says, nicely played. Yeah, I tend to do that to you guys. Sometimes I go overboard with the commentary. Okay, so black is severely short of time, but so is white. So white setting up queen takes e4, but h4 is weak. Probably c4 now. Yeah. Meyer's going to seize his chance to try to break through. Take. And if one of these players wins, they could get to 7 out of 9, which might be in the prizes. Maybe, yeah, an outside smaller prize. I would keep the queens on the board. Yeah, he's looking for rook c2. He wants this counterplay. Rook c2 now. Or take pawn check. Okay. I actually think I would have played rook c2 on the previous move. Because now if rook c2, there's queen g7. Wow, so Meyer's going to go for this rook endgame. I'm a little surprised by that because he's down a pawn. Yeah, black's the only one who can win this. For sure. So white can activate his king. Meyer is a great endgame player, but that looked like a bad decision he made, not going for rook c2. Because now, rook coming over here. Ooh, wasn't that just much better? Rook here. Because now he can take, and he's going to park his rook on b5. White never loses this. King just comes over. This is a draw. Frenzy time pressure. James says, love how you say not playing for the draw at 2 seconds. You got to have faith in yourself. Even when that clock is ticking down. I'll see if I can pull up the prizes here in a second, guys. I might even say them. Yeah, this game is obviously drawn. I'm just going to take a look at the standings just to anticipate who's going to win here. Yeah, neither of those guys I don't think are going to win, so MVL is going to take the first prize. Like he needs the free trip to Iceland, right? Sergio Chess coming in second with 8 out of 9. Fantastic score. So he must have drawn with MVL in their individual matchup. And then Andrekin, chess.com regular. He's right in the mix. Samvel Tershakan. This guy is also strong. So as expected, the GMs do come out on top, even though this is Chess960. It's still chess. You still expect the strongest players in normal chess to be good at 960 as well, or at least have the best chance of being good at 960. I don't think you're going to see some sort of phenomenon that you see in like Crazy House, where someone can be pretty average at regular chess, but just excellent at a certain variant. I don't really see that happening in 960. So Karanka is really, and these two guys, Terry, who's probably going to get to 6.5. Only other IMs amongst the sea of GMs. I think these guys can call it a draw at any moment. Oh, someone listed the prizes in the chat. So first prize, flight to Reykjavik plus 3 nights hotel to participate in the Fisher Random Tournament on March 9th. $400 for second, $250 for third, $150 for fourth, $75 for fifth. And I think there's also a few copies of a book by, I don't know how to say his name, David Lara, I think it is. He's a Spanish photographer, chess photographer. And he had a book that was recently published by New in Chess, and I know they're giving away a few copies of that. What's your favorite variant besides 960? Probably Crazy House. I think Crazy House is a lot of fun. I also think 3 checks is a lot of fun, although I haven't played much of it. So I'm going to go with Crazy House. Just laughing at a random comment. Something about me singing a song to King's Crusher. I have no idea where that came from. Thanks, Arslan. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're just waiting for this game to be over so the standings are finalized. John, how do I get into chess photography? I am the wrong person to ask. I'd say just start bringing your camera to a tournament and start taking pictures of chess players. Okay, so finally that game was drawn. That didn't seem necessary to me, but hey, they're fighting for one of those top spots. So MVL takes it. Yeah, Sergio Chess second, and Andreikin, he got in there in third on tiebreaks over Samvel Tershakhan. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we see some other streamers. Aman finished with 5.5. Nicolas Huschenbet, 5. I had a blast. I mean, it felt like a lot like a Title Tuesday. The format was similar. 9 rounds, a little bit longer of a time control, but that extra minute at the beginning did help because I think the first minute or so I was usually orienting myself in the position, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these random array of pieces on the back rank. But who knows? Maybe chess.com will have more of these tournaments. Definitely let me know what you guys think about this format, Chess960, if you want to see more videos like that, because I enjoy playing this. Sad I didn't finish in the top 3, but it was going to be tough, and most importantly, I had fun, and you guys were able to watch. Someone asked, when is my next tournament? I've answered this a couple times, but my next tournament is next week. I'll put the description of the event down below in the comments, but it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a GM Norm round-robin tournament. I think the GM Norm score will be 6.5 out of 9, so IMs and GMs. And I'm studying up for that. I'm just really trying to be on my grind in 2018. I want to make Grandmaster. It's not the most important thing in my life by any means, but it would be the fulfillment of a lifelong goal, and I believe I can get there. It's just a matter of playing consistently and studying, reflecting on my game, solving that time pressure issue, right? All right, and it looks like already the feedback for 960 is good, so I'll try to do more of those in the future. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year to everyone. Good luck in your personal lives and also, of course, with your chess in 2018. And I'll see you guys around. All right. Bye, guys.